is 12:01, so let's go ahead and get started. We had a lot of people registered for this one, so I have a feeling that we will get some latecomers too. But let's go ahead and get started so that we can give Jason as much time as we can. I'm really excited for today's topic, automating your marketing systems. This is something that I'm really hoping on a personal level to gain a lot of information from because, gosh, if you have those systems set up, your life is just a lot happier, right? Before we get into today's topic, a little bit of housekeeping. This webinar is being recorded, so if you wanted to keep your mic muted in between questions, just to keep the sound down, that would be great. You can do it by clicking either of these little green microphone buttons. If you're having trouble hearing us for any reason, highly recommend phone audio versus computer audio. And Jason is more than happy to take questions. So if you wanted to either raise your hand or type into the chat box if anything comes up, please let us know. And I'll either stop Jason or he'll see the question, and that way we can answer it for you. So a little bit about the Washington Center for Women in Business. We are the coordinator of Let's Talk Business, and we have a working relationship with the U.S. Small Business Administration. They have provided us the designation of being a women's business center, and our whole mission is helping make sure that women who start businesses, or if they're in business already, how can we make sure that you're being as profitable, as successful, as sustainable as possible, and hopefully, keep your doors open long term and employ more people in the community. You can see on your screen just some of the things that we cover via one-on-one coaching sessions or workshops, which includes webinars like today. We do cover the entire state of Washington, but we're located in Lacey, Washington. So if you wanted to meet and you're outside of that area, we always have phone and Skype and email and all the fun technology stuff. To meet with us is free for the first time. After that, it's just $25. And we do have scholarships available. And there is our contact information there. My name is Tracy Hansen. I'm up at the top there, but you can also reach out directly to either of our business coaches. And with that, I'm going to give it over to you, Jason, so that you can just really get into today's topic.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Tracy. Appreciate that. So yeah, today I just thought I'd share my perspective and kind of my background and kind of get some information out there on what's possible for what's out there in terms of helping you automate your business, automate your processes, and really run your business more efficiently and profitably. So some of the things I'm going to talk about today, I use the word automation, but oftentimes I'm kind of referring to smart client management. So we'll get more into kind of these terms. I don't want to scare anybody or make it sound like it's going to be really technical today, but it's going to be mainly focused on the kind of getting inside how it works, kind of helping you envision it, how it might apply to your business, and then how you can take advantage of it, where it's a good fit. Because it may not, while I believe that using a system like this is good for nearly every business, there may be some aspects of it that it may appeal to you more than others. So just kind of want to look at some of those today and kind of get into it with you guys. And I do want this to be interactive, so if you have questions, certainly feel free. Would love, Tracy, sometimes I get a little focused on the slides and all that, so if you have questions, certainly, people have questions, certainly maybe let me know in case I missed them, so that'd be
definitely great. I'll be on it.
Sounds good. So we'll go ahead, I'll just go through my slides here, and we'll leave time at the end for kind of open questions as well. But I think, if you're here today, one of the things that you're focused on, and I guess I should step back and kind of give my background in what I've been doing and with automation. So I started doing web design as a hobby about a decade ago. I just was kind of interested in, how do you build websites and how do you get visible online and how can you monetize a website and things like that. So I branched out into client work, built a lot of my own websites, but got more focused on helping clients with their sites and their projects. And I've had some really good clients over the years, and some of my better clients were using automation programs. So while I thought of myself as kind of a design guy, an SEO guy, more and more it's all marketing, and it's more about having a marketing system in place. So while your website is an important component of that, it's kind of one piece. And what I liked about these systems is that you can really cover all your bases in terms of being able to, nurture prospects, present offers, capture those leads, and really take advantage of those opportunities for prospects and customers and other relationships you have in your business. So that's what really appealed to me from my background. So I actually, about a year and a half ago, got started in a certification program in automation. The program I decided to get certified in is called Infusionsoft. It's now known as Keep by Infusionsoft, or I'm also a Keep certified consultant, certified partner. So that's the program I use. So we're going to be focused kind of on the general topic of automation, look at inside kind of how Infusionsoft Keep works, and then maybe some pros and cons of that system compared to other systems also. So that's my background. I've been working on it with my own business internally in terms of developing these systems, and then also helping clients with these, helping them with implementation for the things they need for their systems as well, and the strategy involved with that. So if you're like many businesses, probably one of your biggest challenges is, not only is getting leads, but really capturing and converting those leads into more customers. Because you can probably buy all the leads out there, but you want to do it where it's profitably and where you have a system where you can really capitalize on that. So that's kind of my where I'm coming at in terms of this perspective. But obviously, like I was saying, you can't just go out and buy leads. You need a system in place to really make that work for your business and convert those prospects. So obviously, part of that is advertising. You can use automation for different purposes, but you can use it for things like social media if you're advertising, because even if you have an offer or a landing page, you want to be able to capture that customer information and prospect information and be able to really nurture that relationship and be able to offer them more. And part of the reason, when you talk about marketing, there's a lot of different ways to market your business. There's webinars, there's social media, there's ebooks, all these other lead magnets, there's pay-per-click advertising, there's getting submissions through your website, are all good ways to are good possible ways to get new prospects for your business. But all those things, like I said, you have all these different programs that may not talk to each other. So while things may be going on your social media or going on your website or coming in as through the phone, or they may be all in different places. Maybe they're on your website or in spreadsheets or in your email list, and they're really not talking to each other or all connected. So you're losing a lot of opportunities that way. So that's one of the things that that automation really helps with, is it really helps kind of simplify that process of all this activity going on and allowing you to use it all in one place. So the program I use, and I'll probably talk about most today, is called Keep. Again, it's K-E-A-P. But it's not about the software, it's more about the system that you use and about how the strategy and how you're going to implement into your business. But one of the things it really does nicely is, in addition to automation and triggering things, it also is a customer relationship management. So if you, when you get this information coming in, it allows you to help manage your business, manage your prospects, your customers, and really develop those relationships with them. Because without that, you're going to have most likely going to have a lot of kind of instability or kind of these ups and downs here, like this slide talks about. So, and often I know when you're starting out talking, I want to market, have a marketing plan, I want to do all these things. You can start out really strong, but then if you run into these challenges, like we've been talking about, you kind of lose steam, and it's difficult to really sustain things or have things turn out the way you want them to. The other reason this is really critical is that oftentimes people are just out there shopping, and they may just be browsing the web or checking things out. From what I've gotten from studies and whatnot, that often like 90% of the people that come to your website aren't ready to buy. So you need to find ways to capture their information, have offers that interest them, and develop that relationship so that when they are ready to make a purchase, you're going to be at the forefront there on that and take advantage of those opportunities. So let's talk about how we solve this problem. So you kind of have this uncertainty in terms of capturing people, making it so you're not just a choice, but the choice. And one of the things that these type of systems do is it helps put these pieces together. So you're not just having these disconnected systems or different things going on. It helps you fit it all together so that you can make sense of it and kind of work more efficiently and leverage these opportunities. So again, it really helps you with clarity. You kind of know what you need to do. You're not just focused on all these different things going on. It really helps you systematize those things and get the consistency your business needs. Because you do need, different, you want to be stable. You don't want to be relying upon just Google for your leads or just Facebook, because they can change their algorithms, overnight, and it can really affect your business. So you want to be have that system in place where you're not, where you're not dependent upon one source too much, and you're kind of diversified in your in terms of how you're handling your different relationships that you have with prospects, customers, and business relationships. So to make this all work, obviously you need, kind of a strategy to make it work for your business, a game plan you can execute, and a solution. So let's go ahead and get into kind of just really quickly what you don't need, because there's a lot of information out there. And it can be a little confusing in terms of kind of what's the right thing or what's the next thing you need to do. I guess my main point with this slide is really that you don't really always need a new training program or a guru or something like that to help you. You really just need a system in place that works for your business, so you're not more stressed and feeling like you're chained to it and doing the same things you have been doing. So definitely with this, the whole idea of this is really about putting your customers first, because really they are the most valuable part of your business. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business. And if you look at kind of where opportunities are in your business, you may find that the best prospect may be the customers you already have, to really be able to get them to come back more, refer more, spend more, because you already have that relationship with them and you want to make it better. So to do that, one way to, that's going to help you do that is to develop this type of system. The other beautiful thing about creating these systems is that when you got them down and really going, it frees up your time, because it's not relying upon you doing those same manual tasks, those same things you've been doing, or all these different programs you used to be working in. It helps you kind of streamline what you're doing and kind of make it scalable or systematize in your approach, so you have more free time to do what you'd like to do. So let's go ahead and look at an example. This is actually from a demo from Keep, which is the software I referred to earlier. But it's an example from real estate, but I think it's applicable to most service businesses. Tracy, are you seeing that okay? Just want to make sure everything's looking good.
Yeah, looks great.
Okay, awesome. So this is an example of a contact form on a website, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So this is a kind of mock-up, so it's not real, it's just kind of a demo to get you a feel for how it would work. But essentially how this works is you have a website. It can be in WordPress, other platforms, however you built it, and you would take a form that you can get through the software, through the Keep software, that captures these leads. Or you can kind of use your own form and just kind of know how to trigger it. So if they say, okay, I'm interested in setting up a time to learn more about your product or service. So they're saying, okay, yes, I want to learn more. They're submitting their information. So this information is going to go directly into your system, into your Keep client management, client contact system. And then that way you're able to start kind of putting them down the path that they should be at. So you have an interested prospect, so they're going to be grouped into kind of that hot lead or interested prospect, or however you want to classify it. So there you can see kind of an example with me there, kind of how that works in this demo. So once they go into the system, maybe the next step would be you want to schedule a kind of a free consultation or an appointment with them to kind of understand how you might work together and kind of what they're looking to do, and perhaps provide a quote for their project or whatever your business model is. So the software here actually allows you by like by text or by email, just to go ahead and schedule an appointment, or they can choose from your online calendar, schedule that time. So one of the beautiful things about this is really to make it easy for people to schedule, to make that action all from their phone, or from whatever device they're on. Be able to access your online calendar so they can just go ahead and schedule that time easily with you. So from there in the system, it's all obviously going to be automated into your calendar. So it's not a standalone program. If you use Google Calendar or a program like that, that appointment's going to go on there. The meeting details are going to be captured in there. So you have obviously all that information in there. And here's a little example of that. And then the next thing is obviously you can, it's going to can trigger automated reminders, kind of like perhaps what was going on for the webinar here, but you can go ahead and have that, or just kind of confirming the meeting. So as you can see here, all this is kind of pre-built once you set it up, and you don't have to be sending out your own emails every time that you have an appointment, or you want to confirm an appointment. So that can save you a lot of time. Obviously, the goal of this is to make it look very natural, very welcoming, like it's the first time they've done this, or it's an original email for you. But I think if you, as you use the software, it becomes, you kind of get a feel for what works and kind of the language you want to use in your messaging and whatnot. So that's kind of a feature that is kind of a foundational piece for a service business, is getting those appointments and getting those people scheduled on your calendar. The next step for a service business may be getting a quote. So let's say you're a painting company and you've scheduled an appointment, you've gone out and taken a look or talked to them, and then the next step is providing them a quote. So you can run quotes through the system where they're tracked and organized, so you can save time. So you can see the quote is sent. You can see the activity. Maybe one person accepted the quote, maybe another one they haven't seen it yet, or maybe the other one they viewed it, they're past due. So you can send out different triggers, different notices based on their activity that you can see there in the status, or the system knows through their status. So you can use the automation, but you can also kind of see what's going on yourself. So you're not just relying upon some machine telling you what's going on. Yeah, just to kind of show here. So once you get the quote and they accept it, obviously you want to get paid. So it does have a built-in invoicing system. So like I was saying, all these tools are integrated. So you don't need, if you want to use FreshBooks or QuickBooks, you can, but you don't have to. You can use a system where either all these programs are all connected to the system, or they can be integrated. So it's really nice. So you don't have 15 or 10 different programs you're using for all sorts of different things. So the whole idea behind this is to allow you to work more effectively, close more of those deals, and help you get paid easily and kind of spend more time doing what you enjoy doing. The other nice thing about this, obviously, is when you've got this kind of tracking system in place and automation going on, is that you're not going to lose all those opportunities and not going to have all those things falling through the cracks. So a system like this helps you cover more of your bases, in terms of all these kind of the processes in your business, so you're not losing out, so that you can execute better and be more profitable with what you're doing. So obviously you can track your invoices, getting paid, all those things. You can run, reporting, all those things like that. So everything's in one place for you to run your business more effectively. So in terms of how this works, or kind of how much time a system like this takes to get implemented, it's kind of like going to the gym. It's like if you spend 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week on your fitness, it's going to make a big difference. So while that may not be an inconsequential amount of time, if it can save you from hiring a new employee or save you, time so that you have more time with your kids, so you have more time to do things you want to do, it's going to be a huge benefit for your business. So that's kind of a baseline, at least, of kind of how a service business would use a program like this. So I'll just kind of go back through some other things here about kind of the focus of this system and kind of why it's maybe a good fit. So honestly, this is a good system if your business is really focused on, you really want to have that ultimate customer experience, really be able to create that customer life cycle where they would never want to go anywhere else, and where you can nurture prospects and follow up with leads. And it is, once you kind of get it going, it's pretty easy to use, pretty easy to set up. I guess I should promote that I am a CUBE certified consultant. So if you don't want to spend time doing that, you can certainly work with a partner or consultant like me to help you get it set up and help you get it implemented in your business. So one thing I did want to spend a little bit of time doing is going in some more features of automation and kind of how it works. One of the best things I like about automation is being able to run campaigns around it. So we've kind of touched on the operational side and kind of the process side of getting quotes or getting appointments, getting quotes out, getting those converted, and getting paid through the invoicing system. So the part that I like best actually is being able to run campaigns. And that's really what separates a automation program from like an email marketing program or some other program. So if you look at like a few, these are actually some campaigns that I was working on in the past. So my business, a lot of it is relating to website projects, web design. So what you can do is create different campaigns for different aspects of your business. So it's not just marketing. Obviously, if you have you can run a spring seasonal campaign, different offers that you run through the year. You can send out, if you want to get new leads from, Facebook, Google, and you're doing an ad campaign for that. Obviously, that can all be run through a campaign in terms of what happens after that. Like say they download your information and you've got their info, you can run campaigns on kind of that progress you want them to take with your business. It's not just emails or texts, it can be tasks. So for example, like on my first campaign there, I have listed about 30-day support. So let's say your business offers 30-day support and you've helped the customer, and then you have a 30-day support period to help them kind of work through any problems they have and kind of systematize that process, and then offer them more things that may help them as that period ends, or kind of those upsells and cross sells and things like that. So you can run campaigns on a variety of things, everything from in terms of a new customer to a new employee to refer a friend to our business, kind of a campaign for that. And it isn't just email or text, like I said, it can be that follow-up call. And once that follow-up call is done in the system, then you would trigger the next thing that would happen, which may be a physical card sent. So you can send out a nice thank you card to them or something like that. And then from there, that might trigger another, the next thing you want to have happen in that experience. So it could be maybe if it's, if it was something where you want to send them a little gift or something like that, that could be part of that campaign also. So this isn't just about like technology and email and text. It is also things like client management in terms of assigning those tasks for those things that you want to have done, and getting out those nice little touches to the clients to kind of help that, help build that relationship. So we're going to look just kind of quickly at this here. This view is more of the actual Infusionsoft system I use. So just kind of quickly, the features it's going to have is I'm going to be able to look at my day, which is kind of the calendaring items that we talked about. It's going to have the CRM, which again is the customer relationship management. So I can look at my contacts in there, the companies that I'm working with, visitors. The marketing is more of this campaign aspect that I talked about, but you can also send email broadcasts, different things like that in there. You also have landing pages. So with a program like Keep and Infusionsoft, you can create landing pages that integrate with your website. So if you wanted to do a special on spring painting, exterior painting, like we were talking about, you could create that landing page, a drag and drop landing page, implement it on your existing website or as a standalone landing page on just hosted by like Infusionsoft, or you can integrate with a lead pages type page. But there's different ways to do it. And then obviously with that landing page, if someone wanted to get a quote or something like that, whatever the offer is, that information would come right into your Infusionsoft system or Keep system and be able to, you'd be able to move them through those campaigns like we talked about, or move them through that quoting and invoice and appointment phase that we talked about earlier. This also works obviously really great if you're doing e-commerce. So obviously with that, everything is kind of technology based in terms of when an item is purchased, you can trigger whole campaigns around that. When someone submits maybe for, if they haven't ordered or they clicked on something but they didn't purchase, or abandoned cart, you can run whole campaigns around things like abandoned cart and things like that. So it's really powerful in terms of being able to capture and get more sales from your online store. The other part obviously is just kind of that last feature on the right there is kind of you can run reports, things like that in terms of all the activity that's going on. Obviously you can set up your branding so that your logo is showing and all those things that you want to have happen are set up in there. And then keep your user list clean and things like that. One thing I should talk about with this is in terms of pricing. Honestly, the Keep system, to give you an idea, I wouldn't recommend it, something like this, a program like this, for a business that's probably under about 200,000 revenue a year. So their range, their sweet spot is kind of like anything from 200,000 up to like 10, 20, 30 million is kind of the range for a program like this. The Keep program is designed for smaller businesses. So if you just have yourself or a couple employees, or maybe up to like 10 employees, that still may be a good fit for you. But if you want more kind of automation power and kind of more integrations and more features, then Infusionsoft would be a better fit. They're both owned by this company that's now called Keep. So the Keep product is more of a streamlined, that invoicing program that we looked at, which just fulfills on more of those core features. And the Infusionsoft program is more if you want more powerful automation in place with more integrations and kind of just kind of more bandwidth to take on what you need, what you want to accomplish with these items that you see up here. In terms of pricing, what I was saying, I wouldn't recommend these types of programs if your revenue isn't at least like 200,000. So it may not be a best fit for someone just starting out or just kind of a solopreneur type business, unless you're getting to a point where you're like, I really want all these features and I'm tired of having different programs that don't talk to each other and that I can't utilize well, and I'm just kind of spinning my wheels. The Keep program itself starts at about $100 a month right now. So the pricing can vary a bit, but that's typically what it runs to kind of give you an idea in terms of pricing. There is typically a bit of a setup fee involved and things like that to kind of help you get set up and get you onboarded. Obviously, implementing these systems does take a variety of skills, like if you're doing landing pages and all those things, setting up your systems, all those things. So you may want to work with a consultant, a partner, a key partner who's trained in this, who does it all the time, so that they can help you build out your campaigns efficiently and effectively to get that done and execute on what you want to achieve. So so let's go ahead and look in a little deeper at campaigns. I guess just to jump back quickly to pricing. So that $100 pricing typically applies up to about, is a monthly price, so it's a subscription. Typically applies up to 500 contacts. So your usage is based on the number of contacts you're using. So the idea there is that the more contacts you have, the more activity you have going on in the business, the more bandwidth you're using, because when you're sending out campaigns, sending out broadcast emails, sending out all these different automated sequences, the bigger, more contacts you have, the more you're using it, the more bandwidth you're taking up in the software, the servers, in terms of the technology being used. So that's kind of the pricing model with that, just to kind of give you an idea of kind of how that works. And there are other systems out there, other programs out there that we'll look at here shortly. So we talked a little bit about campaigns, so I'll go ahead and move on to the next one. But here are some ideas for campaigns that may make sense for your business in terms of running these automation campaigns. So obviously when you have a new customer, typically you have a process involved with that. So you could call it your customer wow campaign. So you could have like a really nice thank you card sent out after they sign up or after they pay. And then maybe like a welcome email in terms of the next step. Obviously, you could build campaigns around different stages of that customer relationship, depending on your business, whether it's during the time they're with you in the process, or after they are done with their purchase, kind of the next thing you'd like them to do, whether it's yes, obviously you want to keep in touch with them or offer them new products or services you're offering. And then also re-engage customers. Maybe people have been quiet for a while or they haven't purchased in a while. There's campaigns you can run around that as well. Just kind of get some more ideas for after the sale campaigns. You could run a long-term nurture campaign to kind of keep them up to date on what you're doing, the benefits of the product or service or new things you're offering. You could do a refer a friend campaign where you could incentivize people to refer their friends to your business and help you grow that way. You can run campaigns to get more customer reviews. Those are really critical. And you know, when people, even if they're using a home service business, they still want to look online to see kind of what your reviews are like, and that can be a big factor in whether or not they choose your company. So using this software, using this system to achieve more, it's going to help you in so many different ways, not just the sales, the customer relationship, but also getting customer reviews and being able to run your internal business processes better as well. You can also run campaigns around birthdays, your company anniversaries, anything like that. You can obviously do holiday campaigns, gifts, things like that. Another way you might want to use campaigns is through if you're running an event. So obviously, like with this webinar, there was an event registration and there was a follow-up and things like that. So you could use an automation program to deliver those messages, or if there was tasks that Tracy had to do with this, she could trigger tasks like maybe first she schedules it, or she obviously has to schedule a person to do the webinar, kind of also all the processes involved with that, whether it's a webinar or trade show or whatever that event may be. You can also do it for certain times of the year, like Black Friday, if that's an important time of year for your business. So other campaign ideas that you may want to think about, or you can get help with if you're using this type of program, are obviously things you want to promote, seasonal campaigns, working on lead generation, getting those lead magnets in place and getting that, keeping your funnel full. So this is kind of the idea. This is really kind of full funnel marketing and being able to do the things you want to do and have not have all these programs you need that don't talk to each other. You could even use this, like I said, to train new employees. If you're doing e-commerce, abandoned carts, things like that, and also run newsletters and things like that through it. So there are other programs out there. I focused on Keep and Fusionsoft today, but there are other programs out there like HubSpot, Ontraport. So I'll talk about those two first. They tend to be, honestly, like I chose Infusionsoft, which is now known as Keep, because some of my best clients used it and some people I knew in the space were using it, and I was really impressed by it and thought it was really cool. And I haven't been disappointed. It honestly, like from a technical standpoint, what I saw when I was integrating, Infusionsoft in terms of like so if someone downloaded like an ebook from a website and that information went to Infusionsoft and the delivery was handled by Infusionsoft of that content, that ebook, I would only see the technical connection, but I wouldn't see how it really worked in terms of the software, in terms of the campaigns and all these things. So now that I've seen that side of it, I do really like it and do think it has a ton of great benefits. But it's not the only program out there. There's HubSpot, which is kind of a pretty big one in terms of, there's pros and cons to that. I believe it's a little bit more, can be quite a bit more expensive depending on how you're using it. There's also one called Ontraport. There's a popular one called ClickFunnels, which is more, honestly, it's not quite as strong from what I've heard on the automation side. It's good in terms of being able to build landing pages quickly and being able to kind of set up, sales funnels and things like that. But in terms of the automation piece, that's where I feel like Keap and Infusionsoft is its strongest, is that kind of campaign aspect that we talked about. So how is this different from a program like MailChimp or Constant Contact or these other email marketing or email broadcast programs you've heard out there? So while those companies may promote some type of automation, they typically, like MailChimp, doesn't do things like tasks. It doesn't do all these things that we talked about in terms of quoting or invoicing, or its really focus is really the email side. So like I said, MailChimp is good. If you're under a program like that, if you're under that 200,000 level of revenue that I talked about, I would definitely recommend getting started with a program like MailChimp and starting to use email, use those programs to help your business. It's just going to be one piece of it. It's not going to be that kind of more integrated solution. So they've kind of referred to Infusionsoft as MailChimp on steroids. So it's kind of the idea of if you're getting started, that's a good way to go. But if you want something more full-featured and more comprehensive, where it's going to kind of close those loops and those gaps, then a program like Keap may be a better choice. One I didn't list here that's kind of a fairly popular, there's other ones out there, but I was thinking of ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign, I think, is a pretty good program from what I've heard, from what I've seen. There are people that are certified in multiple programs like ActiveCampaign, Keap, ClickFunnels, things like that. But I've kind of focused on, because the programs are different and I just want to be good at kind of only, pick what I want to focus on. I've focused on Keap Infusionsoft. ActiveCampaign, from what I've seen, is maybe not quite as strong on the automation side, but still pretty good. So if you're looking for a little lower price tier, that may be one to consider as well. But in terms of how I can help you, obviously I'd love to, if you'd like a free consultation to learn more about this or learn if it may be a good fit for your business, I'd be happy to offer that to you. I'd kind of call that a discovery session. So really about this, though, is kind of helping you gain clarity on how you would use it, how it can help you grow, and kind of how you can leverage these systems in your business. We do have a diversified skill set. So we do things like obviously build out these campaigns. Before these campaigns, you'll often need things. Obviously, you need your copywriting for your emails, for your whatever content you have in there. You need that produced. We have a design background, so if you need help creating graphics, creating flyers, creating landing pages, getting the imagery in place that you need, creating those web forms, order forms, integrations, those are all things we can help you with in terms of putting these systems together and making them work for you. So in terms of typically how it starts out is, like I said, is we would typically start with a discovery session to kind of, and that's the free consultation to understand if this is a good fit for you, kind of what you want to achieve, kind of go over those opportunities with you, what you want to focus on. The next step after that, which becomes more on the paid side, is creating your action plan. So maybe mapping out that first campaign, creating a blueprint that your business needs to help you get the traction, get started to realize those campaigns and allow them to be effective in your business. So then obviously from there, once we've created that blueprint, it's kind of like an architect. Like I kind of think of myself as like a digital, or us as a digital architect. We build it, like if you go to an architect for your home, they'll give you a blueprint, a set of plans, and then it's up to you to build it. So we can do both design and build. So you can certainly come to us for a blueprint. You're like, okay, I like this. Let's build, let's go. So then we can build and implement those systems. Because one thing, you probably hear a lot about systems and how important they are. What's really important is being able to get the strategy in place that you want to for that system, and then being able to actually implement it. So that's kind of how we can help people, is really to take advantage of these opportunities and kind of reap the benefits from that. So I'll just go through a few more things here, and then I'll open it up for questions. So in terms of mapping out a process, I thought I'd just show this quick example. So like in my business, I do a lot of web design projects. So a typical process with this, it can vary a little bit, but typically, obviously, after we get started with them, we'd send them a nice thank you note. And I could do that as a card or an email. I would kind of go through my checklist in terms of getting started and go through that, or actually what we need from them. So I could send a task to myself saying, okay, start the design, or start the whatever that next step is. And then also I could send the client a checklist of what do we need from you. So we need pictures, we need your content you'd like to use, or we need your video that you want to incorporate on your website. Also the pages you want to have on the website. So if we're kind of going across here, like I was talking about earlier with indoctrination, is maybe a nice email about my background. Maybe they know me, but they don't know me that well. So maybe a little bit more information about my story, about how I help people, kind of to provide those personal touches. And then the next step in this, maybe I want to send them a initial design. So the idea is here is so you don't understand a web design project, but to help you envision how you can kind of map out processes in your business, and then how you can use these automation programs to help you achieve it and do it better and more effectively. So while a lot of these are emails, that can be replaced with a task. I have at least one task down there in my list. Another one could be replaced with a sending a physical card. So this isn't all about technology. It's about being able to integrate all these different things you want to have done in one place, is really what it's all about, so that you can get more done. So in terms of getting started, yeah, like I said, it typically starts with that discovery session and creating that blueprint. I typically recommend starting with what's most important to your business, your customers, and really nailing those systems. While you may have a good sense of what your customers like and what the experience they want, you may not have gone through and really mapped out and implemented kind of all these things that you think can make it even better. So I think that's where kind of a good starting point is. And like I said, it starts with kind of understanding how it would work in your business and where you want to start, and then gaining that strategy and deploying, implementing, and creating that for your business. So that's really all I had, Tracy, in terms of slides. I know I went through it kind of fast, but I wanted to make sure I kind of got to everything, and that I covered kind of the content I had prepared. So I would be happy to take any questions anyone has in terms of, or if there's any slides you want to talk more about that maybe I went over and you want to take a look at again, certainly let me know. I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you, Jason. That was great. Yeah, and I like how you kind of ended it all there. It's all about doing it better and making it easier and all in one place. So I think that's great at showing ways to incorporate even non-technology into that. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't see any. We've had a quiet group. I don't see any questions coming through.
So I know, Tracy, you were interested in this, and you perhaps use elements of this in what you do. Is there any questions just that you had, or things that were interesting to you particularly?
Yeah, I mean, we do use pieces, like we do use Mailchimp.
Yeah.
It's not integrated into our CRM system because we have like a special one. So I do think that there are ways that we could boost that automation, because a lot of times, even for me, it's the thing that's triggering me to do something is my own memory or hopefully like something on my calendar. So I think that really just taking a step back will be really nice. I don't think there were any questions necessarily. I think that you did a great job explaining
Oh, okay.
the benefits of each thing. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And like I said, I think, what I recommend, obviously jumping right into a system like this isn't always the first step. The first step may be really getting really good at using other systems in your business or using other programs like we talked about. But then once you reach that point where you're just pulling your hair out, or you're just kind of you're really feeling those gaps or really feeling those disconnects. That's where automation can kind of make a lot more sense in terms of you kind of reach that point where you're like, I want a better system. I want better results, and I want to be able to scale and grow my business and not have it all dependent upon me or a spreadsheet or programs that don't talk to each other.
Yeah, exactly. As it grows, that becomes the challenge.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. Now I still don't see any questions coming through from our attendees, but I'm glad that you have your contact information up on the screen. If you
Yep.
think of questions on how you guys need to do this, especially if you're doing your own discovery session, or if you want to talk to Jason about how he can do one for you, please feel free to reach out directly to Jason. You can always contact me. I'm happy to get you in connection with Jason. But yeah, thank you so much.
No problem. Yeah, and I'll just say I do have my info there, and that on that link there, the ascentinternet.com/schedule. If you want to do like a phone consultation, which is kind of like a computer call like this, where we could either schedule a time to meet if you're local here in the Olympia Lacey area in person, or if you want to do just a discovery call online and kind of go through some things, be happy to schedule that through that ascentinternet.com/schedule link. And go through that with you. Also, obviously, be happy to go over it by phone. My phone number is listed there, 360-451-0072. Or certainly feel free to reach out via email, just to jason@ascentinternet.com.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Jason, and thank you for everybody who's attended today. I'll send out the recording of this just in case you wanted to re-watch while you kind of do your own discovery. Or if you wanted to share with any of your colleagues, feel free to do so. And I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Jason. Bye.
Take care.